Taylor Rose Williams, a mere 5-year-old girl, vanished mysteriously from her own home. 6 days later, her body was discovered in the desolate woods on the outskirts of Demopolis, Alabama. Faced with the tragic enigma of her death, the haunting question arises: who stole the life of such a little angel? Through the investigation, dark secrets begin to unravel, revealing a tale of sorrow and hidden anguish behind this heartbreaking tragedy. I accept full responsibility for everything. I voluntarily guilty to murder. Those are the confessions of the perpetrator that the mitigation expert presented in court. However, the narrative behind it is an entire episode that sends shivers down the spine of listeners, depicting a mother torturing her daughter and allowing her to decay in a closet infested with maggots. Taylor, with her cute black hair often braided into a bun, has big sparkling brown eyes full of joy. She adores pink outfits and vibrant hair accessories. Through the snapshots, it's evident that she has a passion for stuffed animals and enjoys splashing around in the pool since she was young. Maurice, Taylor's father, excelled in football as a linebacker for the Linden Patriots during his time at Linden High School. After graduating in 2008, he pursued his passion further, spending 3 seasons with the Alabama State Hornets. Post-college, he settled in Montgomery and embarked on a career as a truck driver. Meanwhile, at Linden High School, Taylor's mother, Briana, was the valedictorian and homecoming queen of the class in 2010. She also actively participated in the National Beta Club's FCCLA, as well as serving as a majorette in the marching band and playing the flute. Their apartment complex, nestled away from the main road and surrounded by trees, gave Jessica's mother a sense of security about her daughter's safety. The area was a haven for neighborhood children, including Jessica, who played there freely without constant adult supervision. Maurice and Briana's love story began in high school. When Taylor was around 4 years old, she and her mother relocated to Florida in April 2018 to be closer to Breeze Station. Briana was stationed at the Tactical Operations Center at NAS Jacksonville as a petty officer, having served in 2 deployments overseas. By the age of 27, she had earned 9 decorations for her service, including the National Defense Service Medal and the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal. Briana and Taylor resided at Jacksonville's Southside Villa apartment complex, located on Southside Boulevard. They resided there for some time before Briana relocated to a new apartment in the Jacksonville community of Brentwood, located 60 miles away on Ivy Road, in November 2019. Unfortunately, this is where tragedy struck. Just days after moving on Wednesday, November 6, 2019, at approximately 7:20 a.m., Briana called the police reporting every parent's worst nightmare: her child was missing. She told investigators she found the back door unlocked when she woke up that morning, and shortly after, she realized Taylor was missing. Livingston arrived at Briana's home soon after, where she was fully dressed in uniform. He noted Briana shed tears reluctantly and appeared less emotional. As Livingston entered Williams's room, he described seeing several guns on the bed, but no children's toys or anything else except a small bed that looked like it belonged to a child. Briana claimed she heard noises and walked around with the gun but did not enter her daughter's room. LaShante Whitaker, a detective with the Missing Persons Unit of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, also interviewed her and found her behavior somewhat peculiar. He had to ask her to put her phone away as Briana kept texting and answering calls. Most parents are anxious, wanting to know what will happen next when their child goes missing. Briana, on the other hand, seemed indifferent to what the police would do to find Taylor. Investigators are currently talking to Briana, who stated that on October 31, 2019, she drove to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to pick up Taylor from her mother's house. Initially, Taylor was enrolled in the child care program at the Naval Air Station Jacksonville, but due to Briana's work schedule changes, she transported her to Alabama for her mother to care for her throughout October. However, investigators have found inconsistencies in Briana's account. Reviewing documents revealed that Taylor attended preschool at a daycare in Jacksonville until April 10, 2019. After that, April 29th was Taylor's last day at the daycare, with no records of her attending school for the past 6 months. Additionally, Taylor's grandparents denied seeing her for over a year. The last time Briana's mother saw Taylor was in January, and she explicitly stated that she hadn't taken care of Taylor in the preceding 12 months. Maurice Taylor's father also confirmed that he hadn't seen his daughter in quite some time. However, as soon as the authorities pointed out contradictions in her testimony, Briana stopped assisting them. Frustrated, Briana insisted, "My mama would not say that. I just want my baby home. This has gone too far." Initially devoid of signs of sexual assault, have remained elusive, prompting police to consider Jessica's parents as suspects. Neither of them had an alibi at the time of her disappearance. Briana's sister revealed that Briana had been seeing a new man over the past 6 months and thought that he might have information about Taylor's disappearance. During the initial investigation, detectives interviewed a neighbor from the Southside Villa apartment complex, Carlos Johnson, about his proximity to their apartment. Carlos worked night shifts and was often home during the day, so he was familiar with Briana, Taylor, and their routines. Carlos told the police several sightings of Taylor wandering the apartment building by herself on April 17, 2019. That day, he was on a balcony call wishing his mother a happy birthday. From the balcony, he saw Taylor ascending the steps from the breezeway, clutching a doll and clad in pink and purple pajamas. When Carlos asked, Taylor replied that she was looking for her mom. After concluding his call, Carlos took Taylor back to her apartment, number 205. Additionally, Carlos reported to the police that he had seen a lot of boxes and trash bags stacked inside the flat. Carlos disclosed to the detectives that he frequently saw Taylor alone in her apartment every other day, waving to him from inside, clutching her doll and wearing the same pajamas. He observed that Briana's vehicle was not in the parking lot throughout these periods. Briana's regular returns home around 6:30 to 7 p.m. with meals that appear to be intended for only one person. In May 2019, he spotted Taylor outside the apartment on multiple occasions. When he queried about Taylor's whereabouts, Briana told Carlos that the child was with her grandparents in Alabama. Another witness, Tiffany Nicole, stated that on the previous Sunday, she and her fiancé had responded to a Craigslist ad offering to assist Briana with moving from her old apartment to her new one. Tiffany claimed that it appeared as if she had just been evicted because there was trash all over the place, old food all over the floor. Despite assisting with the move, Tiffany never encountered Taylor, which she found odd. Additionally, she said that after helping to unload the boxes at the new apartment, Briana paid them more than they should have and showed no signs of hurrying back to the old apartment where her daughter had been earlier. Briana becomes a suspect in the case, and her car needs to be investigated first. After obtaining a search warrant, investigators tested the navigation system, determining almost exactly where Briana had driven the car in the final days and weeks before Taylor disappeared. The car had been in a wooded area between the towns of Linden and Demopolis. After setting up a perimeter and starting to search, they quickly made a sad discovery. The Demopolis Police Department said they discovered the remains of a child. While awaiting the results of the forensic examination, Briana was airlifted to the hospital from the Naval Air Station several hours after the discovery of human remains. When she learns her daughter's remains have been discovered, Briana tries to eliminate her as a suspect by drinking Arm & Hammer laundry detergent. Briana was still arrested and charged while in critical condition at the hospital. She was charged with 2 counts of criminal child abuse and providing false information to police. Her bail was set at $1.1 million. And she was later transferred from the hospital to the Defa County Jail. On November 25th, a DNA test confirmed that the body found in the forest near Demopolis was indeed that of 5-year-old Taylor. Her body was described as decomposed and skeletonized, suggesting she had been deceased for weeks, possibly months. Due to the advanced decomposition, only fragments of her head, ribs, and longer bones were recovered, rendering it difficult to ascertain the cause of death conclusively. Medical examiners indicated that the body showed signs of murder, including being wrapped in a waste bag and a shower curtain. Additionally, the remains were clad in torn and soiled clothing. Investigators uncovered various items near the body, such as plastic fabric, ropes, gloves, a knife, cardboard, wire, documents, and a punch drink can. Furthermore, the condition of Taylor's teeth and bone lesions on the roof of her mouth could be linked to anemia or an interruption of normal bone growth caused by disease, trauma, or nutritional inadequacies. The police unearthed even more disturbing evidence during their search of Briana's former apartment and car. The apartment was in utter disarray, with 166 boxes and bags of debris strewn throughout, emanating a strong stench of urine and excrement. Detectives uncovered bloodstains in 6 locations on the carpet and walls, all matching Taylor's DNA. Among the debris, they found children's clothing stained with excrement, along with cans of soup and fruit riddled with small holes, which appeared to be Briana's method of feeding Taylor. Additionally, 2 birth certificates were discovered on the apartment floor. Based on this evidence, investigators concluded that Briana confined Taylor to the closet. Briana's car presented a similarly chaotic scene, its interior cluttered with clothes and miscellaneous items. Among the mess, investigators found more soiled clothes, excrement, dead maggots, and various adult toys. Strangely, the trunk area remained empty. According to a former co-worker at the Navy station, Briana was into BDSM and was crazy around guys, which came as a surprise since no one at work even realized that Briana was a mother. However, another co-worker, Peta Sweeney, offered a different perspective. Peta testified that she had seen Taylor with her mother before. She added that she had heard a small child one evening, but that was the last time she heard from her. Notably, Peta detected a foul odor resembling decay emanating from the storage closet. Upon scrutinizing Briana's calendar and mobile phone records, investigators unearthed further evidence. She had traveled to Alabama 3 times, and her phone logs had calls to 2 different men. She also called her mother asking her to lie on her behalf when questioned about whether Taylor had been with them. Briana's legal journey began on January 8, 2020. She did not be charged with homicide due to inconclusive autopsy results, but she faced charges of aggravated child abuse for knowingly subjecting a child to torment and evidence tampering for interfering with the investigation. The judge stated that the victim has not been properly cared for by her parents since conception. Her mother suffers from an eating disorder, and the father complained that the victim was not adequately fed. Subsequently, the defendant removed the victim from the childcare facility about 4 months before the victim's death. During that time, Taylor was left alone and not properly cared for. On March 3, 2022, Briana chose to plead guilty to homicide after 3 years Taylor's body had been buried in a remote woodland area. In her court statement, she accepted full responsibility for Taylor's death and confessed to fabricating the story of her daughter's disappearance. Briana expressed her remorse, admitting her failure as a mother and a human being. During the sentencing hearing, the exact cause of Taylor's death couldn't be determined conclusively, though evidence indicated she likely died from starvation. Despite this, on Tuesday, September 20, 2022, Briana received a life sentence for the second-degree murder of her 5-year-old daughter, Taylor. The mitigation expert represented Briana, stating that she pleaded guilty and took full responsibility for her wrongdoing. "I accept full responsibility for everything I voluntarily pled up to murder. I blame no one but myself." She was transferred to the Women's Assessment Center in Ocala, where inmates typically undergo screening before being assigned to a permanent facility within the Florida Department of Corrections. Following the discovery of Taylor's death on November 23, 2019, Safe Haven, an organization devoted to protecting children from harm, organized candlelight vigils in Jacksonville to honor her memory. The following evening, another vigil took place at Loco Park in Mandarin. Attendees donated to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Subsequently, a memorial monument inscribed with the words, "In loving memory, safe in the arms of God, Taylor Rose Williams," was erected near the site where Taylor's body was found. The monument also featured a scripture passage, "Those who are blessed and have a pure heart will see God." In the wake of this tragedy, the community rallied together, finding solace in shared grief and a collective determination to honor Taylor's memory. The candlelight vigils, charitable donations, and the erection of a memorial monument stand as enduring testaments to the love and compassion that transcends even the darkest of circumstances.